Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Rundown. I will be your host today, Craig DeLuz, coming at you from the West Coast, the left coast, behind the Iron Curtain, otherwise known as the Sierras. But as we all know, I do not do this program by myself.
Yep, my name is Mike Piwowarski, coming to you from the East Coast. That's the coast with the most, from the co-host with the most, here on The Rundown. 2A Views, conservative news. Craig, how's the third day of your weekend going?
The third day of my weekend is going, once again, phenomenally. The weather here has been like 90s, mid-90s, with a nice breeze. Took my granddaughter swimming yesterday, enjoyed lounging in my brother's pool. It was all good times, sir, all good times.
It's been kind of the same here. My wife's been out of town for work the last couple of weeks, right? So it's just been me and the 17-year-old. And it's good because I've been laying a lot of, chores on her that, would normally be done. And then somehow today, I don't know how it switched around, but my daughter left to go to school, and she left me a list of chores to do. So I don't know how that happened, but all of a sudden I'm now working for my daughter here at the house, doing chores for her. So
I will tell you that as a function of any good dad winds up working for their daughter. I don't know how it works, but wait till you have a granddaughter. I'm telling you, she's going to own you.
No, listen, I get that. And I've been doing, obviously my daughter's owned me whole life, but this was a list of, hold on, here you go. She told me I had to, your job today is find somewhere to put all the extra boxes, clean the toaster oven, sweep the kitchen, and then you have to finish the dishes. So she left me with chores to do.
Oh, serious chores. Dang. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, there you go.
Well, she'll be surprised when she gets home, too, to see that the toaster oven and the dishes are in her bed. So I found someplace for them.
Okay, touche. That is a nice move. That's a gangster move right there. I'm down with that one.
Yep.
Well, hey, folks. Hey, however you are partaking of the show, do us a favor. Make sure, like, share, subscribe. Encourage your friends to do the same. Remember, let them know. However they're interested in watching us, let them know they can watch us on YouTube, Facebook. They can watch us on OpsLens or Spotify, or they can actually just listen to the audio version of the program, which is becoming very, very popular. You can find it wherever you find your podcasts, whether it's iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or once again, Spotify, or Podcast Addict. That's one that's actually growing. We're having a growing audience there at Podcast Addict as well. But once again, however you do so, make it a point to encourage your friends to do the same. And share it on social media. Let them know where to find us.
Yeah, do it like that. Watch it. Listen, what is it? Podcast. What is the last one?
Podcast Addicts. Yes, Podcast Addict.
Is that one we have to program our stuff into that, or is it like an auto feed from elsewhere?
It's an auto feed. It's an auto feed through Anchor. So we use Anchor, which is owned by Spotify. We use that to send out our podcast. But yeah.
So if you're in Spotify, you're also on Podcast Addict.
Yes. Well, no, that's a different.
Cool.
It's a different one. Yeah.
No. Oh, well, you just said it was like an Anchor for it. Okay.
Well, it feeds it.
Either way.
Anyway, either way. Once again, wherever you find podcasts, you can find us.
There you go. Listen to us there.
All right, so this first one, Mike, yesterday we talked a little bit about, we started off talking initially a little bit about the fact that we are actually in a recession. And the White House actually attempted to redefine what a recession is. And the crazy thing about it, Mike, is that the media now is joining in with their redefinition of with their attempted redefinition of what a recession is. Now, mind you, we've always known, and once again, I studied finance, so I didn't just take economics in high school, I took it again in college. I took finance courses in college, and we were always told that, correct me if I'm wrong, Mike, but a recession is when you have 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP growth, right? Is that correct?
2 quarters, yes, sir.
2 quarters in a row. Well, now you have the folks over at PolitiFact You have the folks over at PolitiFact who are basically saying that is a false statement. When you say that the White House is now trying to protect Joe Biden by changing the definition of the word recession, right? And in their statement, he's saying, this guy here, and I want you to remember this, Louis Jacobson. This is on July 28th of 2022. He says, no, the White House didn't change the definition of recession. And he points to, I want to go down here to this one area. Where is it at? Keep going down.
He's going down, 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 down. He's
right here.
Down,
right here.
Down.
Anyway, it says here, in interviews with PolitiFact, a dozen economists cautioned against over-reliance on the two-quarter rule, particularly in this current moment. Now, Mike, I want to compare this to when Donald Trump was talking about a recession. This was in 2015, and I want you to note something. Same guy, Louis Jacobson, right? Same guy, Louis Jacobson. And what he said was the general rule is 2 quarters. Where's it at here? The general rule of thumb is 2 quarters. The general rule of thumb is 2 quarters, basically, of negative growth is a recession. Now, Mike, I'm going to throw this out there to you. The same guy said the exact opposite things 7 years apart. Now, is that not an example of the media trying to jump through hoops to not make Biden look bad, or to cover for Biden?
Oh, absolutely. They're bookending right the first presidency of President Trump, right? You got Obama on the one end where Trump was having the conversation, and this guy comes to the defense of no. If it's 2 in a row, that's what makes it a recession. And then when they turn around and call it against Biden, they go, no, it's not necessarily 2 in a row. It could be other factors beyond that. This guy's clearly one of those TDS sufferers, and is trying any means he can to go after the first Trump presidency, to try and declare him being, everything Trump is bad. Everything Trump is bad. So we're going to lie on one end, then we're going to lie on the other because we don't agree with you. It's nothing but the left being in the pocket of the liberal elite. That's all it is. The media being in the pocket.
And then, it's just, I am literally livid with, because I'm like, wait a minute. It's not just political. First of all, we know that PolitiFact is left wing. We know that it is a left wing. They are not really fact checkers. They are left wing propagandists. But when you have the same guy, the same exact person, change the definition of what a recession is, one has to wonder what the heck is going on here. I mean, how do you think at any point in time that you're going to get away with that?
The media is in the pockets of the left liberals. That's all there is to it. That's all there is. It's just easy. It's that simple. You and I had this conversation 2-3 weeks ago talking about, there have been some recent converts that have come over back towards maybe not all the way to the right, but at least centrist in their political views, and they have been shunned by the media. Once you're no longer spouting the liberal lies on the left, then you're no longer part of the media. They won't publish you. They won't print you. You'll get no airtime, no paper time from them at all. You're done. So they have to. The media has set it up so that if you're not putting anything out that's pro-left, you're just not going to be putting anything out. Exactly.
By the way, Patrick Collins from Georgia is actually in Detroit, watching us from Detroit. Patrick, it's good to see you, sir. Thank you for joining the program, and thank you for going out and helping Rick Ector as he works to train women. Now, this is a weekend where they're going to be training women. They give them first opportunity to go out and shoot a firearm. It's going to be a lot of fun. They have trainers that come in from all over the country. It's a phenomenal program, and my only regret is that we weren't able to be there this weekend.
That's your only regret?
Well, anyway. Regarding the event.
Oh, okay, gotcha. All right. Just checking.
Anyway, Patrick, thank you for checking in.
Get
All
back
right.
to work.
Another interesting story. Now, Mike, you remember that our good friend Governor Abbott, well, I won't call him good friend, but Governor Abbott from Texas has been busing those who have entered our country illegally to Washington D.C. You do remember that, right?
He has, yes. He is one of the governors that has said, if you're going to dump them in my state, I'm going to dump them in your location. Yes. So he's definitely one of them. Yes.
Well, the mayor of Washington, D.C. has actually requested that the National Guard respond to these buses of illegal immigrants that are entering Washington, D.C. That's Mayor Muriel Bowser. She's asked that the D.C. National Guard be activated indefinitely in order to help the district respond to the influx of illegal immigrants arriving on buses. And this, once again, is according to a report. So I guess Washington D.C. is having a concern with illegal border crossings into their state.
Hey, listen, if they're so okay with them, let's put them in their backyard, right? That's exactly what the Governor Abbott has done there, is put them on a bus voluntarily, mind you, voluntarily. He has told them, hey, I'm going to pay for tickets. You guys can hop on board if you'd like to. That way you don't have to be standing down here in hot, sweltering Texas. You can go to a nice, cool beach breeze of the East Coast up in Washington, D.C. So he has sent them there voluntarily to get to seek employment and housing. So it's working out rather well. Oh, and by the way, when I read this story earlier, I read it through kind of quickly, and it said Mayor Muriel Bowser. I thought it said Marion Barry, and I was like,
Mayor Marion Barry.
is he back again?
Muriel Bowser, Marion Barry. Maybe. Well, you know what? It could be that maybe, who knows? Maybe change genders. Who knows? You know. See some oil of Olay and the gender change, and bam, you got. It just depends. If we catch Muriel Bowser smoking crack, we'll know.
Yep, exactly right.
But dude, once again, what's funny is that Washington D.C. is a municipality that I'm guessing, if they're like the rest of the leftist municipalities or local governments like the state of California, they're offering benefits, they're offering incentives, they're offering assistance to those who have entered the country illegally. So why wouldn't people want to go to these people want to go to places where they know they can get all sorts of government handouts? Simply because they entered the country illegally. Why wouldn't they? It only makes sense. And so why not as a mayor, as a governor there in Texas, why not send them to some place where they will be welcomed with open arms and will receive additional benefits?
It's right, exactly right. It's interesting because the mayor there, Bowser, she's called this now it's a humanitarian crisis. When they were at the Texas border, it was no issue at all. With them being released into Texas and being released into other conservative states where they were just dumping them in the middle of the night, Florida being one of them. But now that and Governor Abbott has sent 5,100 of these volunteers to the state of, to the District of Columbia, and now the District of Columbia is calling it the tipping point. They cannot handle 5,100 additional residents that are in need. They need the National Guard,
which is hilarious because they're getting over 200,000 a month there in Texas. 200,000 are entering the country through our southern border every month, right?
Yes.
I think we had we topped out at 250. Every month we seem to be breaking records. 250,000, and then you've got the mayor of D.C. complaining about 5,100. Unbelievable is all I will say about it. Unbelievable.
Yeah, and the population of DC is just over 700,000. So when they get 5,000, it's not like it's falling underwater or anything like that. It's,
right.
It's now it is 500 immediately coming into needs things from the system.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like they're running out of ground space. Let's say that.
Right.
But they are being tasked to get their get their act in order. Now you think they would, right? Because just like you said, 20,000 a month coming through in Texas, right?
No, 200,000.
200,000 a month coming through in Texas. Yet Texas can handle that, but DC can't handle 5,000.
Right. Well, and they're, by the way, the government is actually also shipping them all over the country. Just so you know, they're except they're flying them. They're not putting them on buses.
Correct. Well, they got that federal money where they could just go out back and pull it off the tree.
Right. Oh, interesting stuff. Yeah. But, I think Joe Biden has heard their call for assistance because you might recall back during the presidential election, he made it a point to say that they would not build one more foot of border wall. Not one more foot. Well, guess what? The Biden administration has approved, more than one more foot. They've actually quietly approved an additional section of the border wall there at the U.S.-Mexico border near Yuma, Arizona. So what happened, Mike, to the whole, we're not building any more walls don't keep people out. We're just going to do high-tech stuff.
Oh, they lied. What else do you want? It was more lying. We said this before, and we weren't going to build walls, but now after examining it, we're going to build walls. No, it was lies. They knew that they had to have a wall. They knew that was one of the strong platform speeches of President Trump. So they were going to do everything they could to go against it, to be anti-wall. Well, here they are. They've done their standard assessment after a year, and they've said, "Hey, boss, I got to rebuild the wall in Yuma. Got to build the more. Got to extend and improve, just like we've always done forever, because we don't have an open border. We need to continue to improve. Now, in some places, the border might be a couple strands of barbed wire, but it's still there. So this is improving the wall along that area that was up for improvement, needed improvement. But again, he said he wouldn't do it, and he's going to take down walls.
What do you think the chances are that he actually just, in his senility, just forgot that he said that?
Oh, well, listen, everything that this guy does right now, he has no idea that he's done before or promised tomorrow or say anything about. This is just every time we see him, it's just another example of those signs of dementia coming through.
Right. So he's either a liar or he's suffering from dementia. Just so you know, right. Democrats, that's who you elected. Y'all did that.
See it, yeah. When he doesn't remember it, that's when he gets angry, which is, you know what? Another sign of dementia.
Another sign of dementia. Exactly.
It's horrible. 75% right now, right? 75% of the people say, nope, we're not voting for him again.
75% of Democrats say they want somebody else. That's not even Republicans. Republicans would rather he run again because they know he'll lose.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, we would be excited to see him run again. Just saying. Not saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Just saying.
All right, and then now with that, you might actually have a group of people who are actually not going to vote for members of either party. That's right. There is a new political party afoot, and this political party is actually going to be made up of Republicans or Republicrats or Democrats, or whatever you want to call them, but a group of people. They call themselves moderates. Are going to actually, they want to start this new party, and two of the folks that we know on the national scene are Andrew Yang, who was running for president. No one really paid any attention to him, and then Christy Todd Whitman, who used to be the governor of New Jersey. Now, Mike, I just have to be honest with you. First of all, I don't see how a third party is ever going to be successful as long as there is the winner-take-all electoral college system. Now, mind you, I know people have talked about ways to kind of get around that, but as long as we have a constitution and that a constitution has to be amended, I don't see how that process changes. I don't see how you develop a strong, legitimate third party.
Well, there is a way, and I don't think the electoral college has as much to do with it as we think, because that can be, modified based on a three-party system, without having to have a new constitutional amendment or anything. remember, it's a majority. If you got 3 up there, it would just be your majority. Craig, you've got 10, 15 people that run all the time for president. If the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th down the line could get to 270, they'd be the president.
Right.
Simple as it is. First guy to 270 wins. That's the deal. Well, so here's the third party. I think a third party could work. I remember you and I rolled up in the '80s. You remember Ross Perot running under the independent ticket back then, which I guess independent's not technically a party, but he was a third candidate.
Well, he ran it was a Reform Party candidate.
Well, I think they came up with the Reform Party after he was already there. I think he said he was running as an independent, and then they put a name on it. This is the first time you've heard of a candidate a third party with a path. Okay, like we want to be moderates. Okay, before it was just I'm independent. I don't agree with the left or the right. I don't agree with the two-party system. So if you can have a party that actually comes up with what their beliefs and ideals are, then maybe so, because we know what the Democrats and Republicans stand for has drastically changed over the last 20, 25 years. So if a third party could come in and carve that out, maybe. And the problem, like I've said to you before, with always the third party candidate coming in is they're always for things like, Craig, like, okay, we're for stronger defense, right? We're for better social programs, right? And developing alien technology. They've always got something that just you're like, oh, come on, can we please get somebody serious?
You're talking about the Libertarian Party, right?
It doesn't matter. I don't matter if it's the Libertarian, the Green Party, the Reform Party. You ask them their top 3 things, something is always like, are you serious?
Really? Really? We're going to go there.
Cartoon character? Yeah.
Well, and excuse me. I just think the other thing is the idea that, quote unquote, Republicans are run and controlled by extremists, I think is a falsehood. Because here's the thing, and we talked about exactly how Democrats are trying to, and moderate Republicans, by the way, are trying to portray conservatives. We have a right to keep and bear arms. That makes you an extremist. To believe that, before the government should, not violate the Constitution. That makes us extremists. The fact that if you believe that a child in the womb has a right to live, that makes you an extremist. If you believe that, if you don't believe that America is inherently racist, that makes you an extremist. Very mainstream views that were very mainstream not too long ago are now considered extremist views by moderate Republicans who are I don't know, ashamed of America. I don't know what their problem is. Or what I like to call them is, like I call many of my libertarian friends. There are friends I have who are libertarian, who are truly libertarian, but most of them are what I call liberalitarians, meaning they're actually fiscal conservatives to a degree, and then they're social leftists, right? Yeah. That's really what it is. They are immoral or amoral, fiscal conservatives is what they tend to be.
I would think, now that we're putting little titles on it, I would think that these moderates folks would, I think they would probably fall into the seat of the old Democrats, because
yes, probably so.
They've gone completely off to the left, so they're this wild, crazy, lying party out on the left. So if the moderates came in and formed, let's say they took the majority of what Democrats used to be and a little bit of what Republicans used to be, that's still a good thing for the Conservative Party, the Republican Party on the right. Because now you're splitting the Democrats into 2 separate parties. And
by the way, that's not to say that's not to say that we don't have extremists within the Republican Party, because we do. But trust me, they don't control the party. More the corporatists tend to control the Republican Party. There are conservatives, and they're mainstream conservatives and corporatists are the ones who tend to run the Republican Party. But on the left, I got to tell you, it's hard when you look at the policies that they're pushing. It's hard not to believe that the socialist Marxists do not have a stranglehold on the Democratic Party. It's really hard to believe that.
No, I mean, it's there, right? And look at the ridiculousness of an AOC, right? And her, and I know the rest of her, what did she call it? Her posse or whatever the heck it is. I don't know what it is.
Right.
every time she says something, it doesn't matter what it is, it's going to be front page news because, again, it's the stranglehold on the media and the party that whatever they say has to be top line news.
Right.
We look at it and think that's the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Like the fake handcuff story last week.
Right.
They were going to run the day with. So.
Well, Mike, and this kind of brings me to our parting shot. This first parting shot probably really speaks to that in terms of who's labeled "quote unquote" brainwashed or extremist, right? So you notice here, and this is a sign. This is basically this particular meme. You've got the I forget who that guy, what he's supposed to be, but you got the guy who's supposed to be the conservative. He's got a little cross on his shirt, and he's got an American flag, right? And then you got the other guy who's got he's got the rainbow flag with the crescent moon, the Muslim crescent moon. He's got all of the social media. I mean, all of the coexist, all of the crap that's there, that all of the stuff. And by the way,
wearing his mask.
I was just about to say that. Also got his mask, right?
Yep.
And he is saying to the other guy, they brainwashed you. And the other guy's like, really?
Really? Really?
But that's really kind of how it works. I mean, all of the facts and the information that you can share with the left, and it's like, they have no idea. They are completely and utterly brainwashed.
Yeah, absolutely true. Good little parting shot there. I like it.
And now this next one just falls in line with, it falls in line with a license plate that I would love to consider getting. I saw this post. The guy saw this this license plate in, it says here, Wisconsin. In Wisconsin. For those of you who cannot see it, let me zoom in a little bit for you. There you go. There it is, a little bit closer. FJB for 2024.
There you go.
That is good stuff. I don't know if I would waste it. It's kind of expensive to get the personalized plates in California. I don't know if I would do that just for that. But I have to admit, if I could do it, it would be tempting.
Yeah, I wonder how long before that license plate's recalled now that somebody's made it popular.
Well, here's the deal. If you do it and they recall it, I would ask for my money back, but I'd keep the license plate.
I guess it just depends on the state. I've seen some states say, we've revoked it. You've got 10 days to turn it in no matter what. There's no appeal.
And why would you turn it in? Or turn it in or what?
They won't give you another one.
Oh, wow. Okay, well, that's a good point.
Yeah.
I'd take him to court. I would take him to court. I'd be like, I had a right to free speech. I am saying, right.
Yes, you have the right to free speech, but you don't have the right to travel on a road in a vehicle. So, all that. Driving is a privilege.
Friendship, joy, and brotherhood. That's what it means. That's what it stands for.
Yeah, that's it. Yep. Freaking joy and brotherhood, baby.
Freaking joy and brotherhood. That's what this is all about. That's what the point of my thingy is. Anyway. All right, Mike. Well, hey, it's about that time to make a shout out or give a shout out to our sponsors.
No. We got that's it. We got to have more parting shots than that.
That's it, man. We just got two, bruh. Just two parting shots today, man.
Weak. We probably, folks, we apologize for the weak amount of parting shots today. We'll get that better.
You like having a bunch of them.
Let's. I thought we were gonna do the one about the redefining the recession. I thought that was a really good one.
Oh, you know what? Tell you what. Hold on a second. I will throw that one up.
This one summed up the whole story nicely.
Give a shout out to the people.
Giving our shout out to our our new friends at uscombatgear.com. Then of course the California Republican Assembly, Guerrilla Machining, and Grid Defense. Defense. Right?
Okay.
So those are our friends.
All right. So this is the one who made for PolitiFact. So here we go. So
this is perfect. Yeah.
On the left, you have the general rule of thumb is that it takes 2 quarters of negative growth to signal a recession. That was from Louis Jacobson, PolitiFact, Louis Jacobson, June 16th, 2015. And the article was entitled, Donald Trump Gets Claim About U.S. GDP Doubly Wrong. So you got it doubly wrong.
Doubly.
And then
Indubitably.
the same gentleman from PolitiFact, July 28th, or it was actually 27th, 2022, in an article entitled, No, the White House Didn't Change the Definition of the Recession, he's quoted in an interview with PolitiFact, a dozen economists cautioned against over-reliance on the two-quarter rule, particularly in the current environment. And you know what the current environment they're talking about is, right?
Biden.
We have a Democrat president. So
Yep.
that's the current environment.
Yep. Ridiculous.
Oh, hilarious. But once again, that is the mainstream media. And that's, by the way, folks, is also why we do not take fact checkers seriously, because they are clearly biased. They do not operate based on the facts, and they tend to only look for facts or information or opinions that agree with them. That would be how they do. And on that note, we're going to go ahead and call it a day. We're going to call it a week. Please remember, well, first of all, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking and sharing and encouraging your friends to do the same. Have a fun, safe weekend, and we will see you next week on Monday. Fun day. Gun day.
See you on Monday.